Hello, everybody. You haven't seen my face in a while, but I am back. Some complications with the schedule and whatnot, but now I am here with Nick.
How you guys doing?
I feel like they should be doing pretty good because they're listening to us. Anyways.
True.
So you had some questions for me.
I do. Today I'm going to be interviewing Matt. I'm really excited for it. I feel like I know this guy pretty well, but there's definitely some stuff I don't know about him. So we're going to answer all that today. So, what was your initial thought of high school?
My initial thought of high school is I was a nervous wreck coming into high school because of the fact that I always put a bunch of pressure on myself to get like 90s and whatnot. And so because I didn't always get that, I'm now like, oh crap, I'm going to fail, I'm going to be held back. And I just, I was an extremely anxious person. So I just let these thoughts just run through my mind and tear me down, like essentially. And it wasn't really healthy. And only when I realized, hey, I can like step back and relax. It's not that much more difficult. I can step back and have fun with school. That now my grades are doing better, surprisingly.
Yeah.
It's great.
Less stress on yourself, you're going to succeed more. And you're going to find that things that you hate can be a lot more enjoyable if you're not stressed out all the time.
It's like I found out that it's not the fact of like doing the work is the problem. What's the problem is getting into the work. That's the most difficult part of like homework and whatnot. Like any bit of that is getting yourself into the mindset of like, hey, I got to sit down and do this work.
Yeah.
Because you have like your phone right next to you and whatnot, and now it's so much more difficult to get stuff done because you're getting a bunch of notifications.
Yep, happens all the time. I got friends inviting me to play games with them, and I'm like, I got to do this science homework or math homework. I got to get this done tomorrow, and they're like, hey, hop on Sea of Thieves with us or something, and I'm like, I can't right now.
Can't really do that.
So, yeah.
You have to prioritize some stuff, or else it's just like, hey, I got a text message. All right, now I'm on my phone for the next 40 minutes and can't get anything done. Why am I failing?
Yeah. Happens all the time.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of kids that go through high school like that, so.
Yeah, if you want any practical advice, when you're doing your homework, put your phone in a different room. You're not going to miss anything.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I can vouch for that. So, with you being a wreck going into high school, how is it going through it in a pandemic?
Surprisingly well.
Okay.
I surprisingly did great during the pandemic because of the fact where I have like very loving and supportive parents that can help me like with anything. I have a bunch of friends who are like good at these different subjects. I am good at I'm good at keeping my attention span like focused on a certain topic. And so with that being said, it was so much more enjoyable just to be able to sit down, go to the bathroom whenever, eat whenever. Like I could FaceTime my friends. I was allowed to have like some friends come over and hang out with me, so that wasn't too bad. As well as the fact where my mom got me fast food every single day. So I'd get Moe's, McDonald's, Subway, whatever.
That's awesome.
It was the best. But yeah, but it's just so much more enjoyable to get here and get like walking around and stuff, like seeing a bunch of different people that I wouldn't normally get to see. I like school better in person, but it wasn't terrible when I wasn't in person. Like I had, I think, a 99 average at one point in the pandemic.
Great. That's great. And I feel like the pandemic, school was definitely different. It was hard for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Me, it was all right. I mean, I'm doing class on my multi-$1,000 computer at home, and it's like I got like
the 4K webcam.
I got a 4K webcam. I got a green screen. I got everything at home, and I'm having fun with it. And it was awesome. I absolutely loved it. So.
Wait, so for those who don't know, on a Google Meet, what he had set up is his green screen, and he recorded himself like he was paying attention. Then what happened is halfway through the class, he would come out from behind his green screen, and we realized, oh, he wasn't there at all.
And it was just a pre-recorded video of me. I did it all the time. It was hilarious. It was
so funny.
I took a video of me on a plane, and I set that as my background, and people actually thought that I was on a plane.
Yeah, we actually did.
At 10,000 feet up. It was hilarious. It was really fun. But
yeah, I literally came back from like being under anesthesia, and like I just woke up and I'm in the car and I hopped online for school. And they're like, you should be like resting. I'm like, yeah, I'm fine.
I'm fine. I'm sitting in my car.
I'm good.
You have no idea how many times I've logged into bed halfway sleeping. Logged into bed halfway sleeping. That makes no sense. Logged into class in bed half asleep.
Someone would know about that in this room about being in their bed all the time during classes.
Oh yeah. You got to get a laptop on your
laptop.
Yeah. Oh yeah, all the time. All the time. Did it a lot.
Wait, so the worst part was I had like an official like gaming laptop to do my work and stuff. And what ended up happening is I went to go turn it on one day, and the inside hardware broke.
That sucks.
Randomly one day. So I had to use my like 2013 iPad mini for like everything. It was terrible.
That does not sound like fun.
It was not fun.
Well, now you can just bring your laptop to me and I'll fix it for you.
Yeah.
All right, so school through a pandemic wasn't the worst thing in the world.
I honestly, it wasn't that bad. Like, I know I like jokingly complain about it like a whole lot, but it honestly just wasn't that bad. And I was able to make like a lot of friends on like Discord and stuff through that because I didn't really have anybody to talk to.
Yeah, we'd made a lot of friends, especially like virtually. I met so many people virtually during that time. It was a lot of fun. I liked it. I like being at home. As you said, I love getting food whenever I wanted. Like, it was amazing. So, but there are so many distractions you have at home. Like, you have no idea how many times I've like would log into my PS4 or something, and this was before PS5 came out. Just FYI.
Not like I still have that. Like, I still can't get that.
I still can't get a PS5. It's not gonna happen for a while, but. You know, yeah. One of our guys behind the camera was laughing because he has a PS5 and a Series X.
Yeah.
Stop. We get it.
His family's entirely bougie, so that's why. Like, yeah, I understand. Like, it was completely less productive. Teachers were a lot more laid back. Like, like, I know I assigned this assignment like 5 months ago, but you could still get full credit.
You can still turn it in for full credit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was great.
And then like once you move transition like back, like everybody's like, this is so unfair. You actually have like deadlines and stuff like that, and I have to keep to a schedule, and I have homework and stuff like that. It's like you were on a 2-year hiatus from school, and now you're back to it. And this is what you wanted because you were complaining about online school, and now you're complaining about this because you can't get an easy 95 in a class you don't like.
Yeah, well,
it is what it is.
We'll never be satisfied, you know.
No, because we're teenagers, and we always like to complain.
Oh yeah. Do you remember how much stuff do you retain from middle school? Like, is there anything in middle school like a teacher told you to memorize or something? Do you still have it memorized to this day?
Absolutely not.
You don't?
No.
Wow.
I like it. So the way my mind works is I can't really recall it, but if you put me in front of a problem and be like, hey, like, this is something you learned like 5 years ago, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is how you do it.
Yeah.
It just like immediately comes to my mind. But if you were to ask me right now, like you just did, no. Mm-mm.
So like example would be like the pledge that we had to do in Mr. Daly's class. You don't remember it?
I forgot.
I remember it word for word.
I completely forgot about that till you just said that.
Bro, I remember.
That's gonna bother me. For
I remember it word for word.
Would you like to say it?
Sure.
I'll drink my water.
So the pledge that Mr. Daly had us do every day. It is, I am a student. I can learn, I will learn, I must learn. For myself and for the people I love, I will be better tomorrow than I am today because I am a student. I still remember that.
That's insane.
And that was like 2 years ago.
That's insane.
And I still use that like a lot.
Yeah.
Now, there are some times where I'm like, I don't feel like being better tomorrow. Like, I just, like, I'm at a high right now. I'm at like a peak.
I want to keep an equilibrium.
Yeah, I just want to stay. I want to plateau right here. But then I'll always get something the next day and be like, okay, I gotta accelerate past this. Oh yeah, it spikes up and down.
Oh yeah, sorry, we don't have a pop filter, and I'm used to my pop filter. So like, I'm used to being able to do. And
actually, we do have pop filters. We just don't have them on right now.
Yeah.
So anyway, so you don't remember anything like that from middle school?
I honestly
can't recall.
I honestly don't know. I remember. What I do remember is how I was in an English class. It was in Mrs. Golden's room. We were taking like an English midterm or final, and what happened is someone finished it within like 30 minutes, like absurdly fast. Then this kid pulls out a Nintendo Switch and starts playing Fortnite on it. Yeah. That was the only thing I really remember from middle school, except like I was extremely awkward, and every embarrassing thing that were to happen to me then. That's about.
That's great.
Yeah.
I mean.
That's how that works.
That is dang, I can't think of the word now. That is interesting. Somebody comes up with a Nintendo Switch and they just bring it to class.
Yeah.
Actually, it was funny. Earlier this year, back in like I think it was like November or something, I was going on a road trip and I was leaving school early, but I was going to be gone for a week and I wanted to bring my PlayStation with me, obviously. So I brought my PlayStation into school and I asked all my teachers. I was like, hypothetically, if a student brought a PS4 to school, can we hook it up to your new line and play it during class? And they're like, no. And I'm like, dang it.
If you had like Mr. Mufford, I feel like you would.
Oh, I feel like he totally would.
I
feel like there are some teachers that would, but then there are also other teachers
like,
that are like, no,
I know
we need to get work
teachers
done.
would absolutely be down for that, but everybody we have this year is like, no.
Well, yeah, because they're all like, you got to get your work done. They're all like very professional. They're
Like,
all,
I understand it.
I understand. We got work to
completely
do.
understand it. So like, if you were to bring it up like today, like on a break, because this is like we're recording this the day before spring break.
Oh, yeah.
So like, you didn't really do anything.
Actually, technically, it is spring break right now because it's after school. So right now we are on break.
That is
We're
a valid
here-
point.
We're here filming for you guys, so you're welcome.
We have some very angry people in the back
Some
because
very
we're forcing
angry
them to
people
do it.
behind the back. Oh yeah, you say that now.
Yeah. So, this spring break. Do you have anything planned for spring break? Like anything cool? Or
I'm
just
going on.
no?
I'm not really going on vacation, I would say, but I'm going to like see family over spring break. I'm excited for it.
That's good.
Hopefully, I can get my permit over spring break. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I got to study over spring break
gonna be
because my
fun.
mom's like harping on me.
Quite
for that.
honestly, it's not that hard. Honestly, it's really not that bad. All you have to do, I would recommend, if you're going for your permit test, this is what I would recommend. Study up to it. I made that mistake. But then, like, a couple days before, take like 30 online tests.
You want to send me some online tests?
I'll send you some online tests.
Okay,
I'll probably
thank
link them
you.
in the description as well, in case you're going for your permit test. I'll link some
Yeah.
websites in the description. Go check them out.
Yeah.
What is your favorite thing to do outside of school?
Favorite thing to do outside of school? Well, I really like hanging out with friends and stuff, but in the times where I'm like just sitting down and I want to be active and stuff like that, either I play ping pong with my dad, which I'm like actually good at, surprisingly, and I also teach myself like how to box. Am I ever going to use it personally? Never. I probably will never use it, but it's just like a good outlet to like just A, exercise, and B, if I'm like frustrated or confused about something,
Let's make
it's a
it
good
out.
outlet.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
All the time. I actually just recently got into boxing. It's a lot of fun.
It's really fun.
It's really fun.
Like, especially like I box my brother and stuff like that, who is 8.5 years older than me and about like very, very like much bigger than me, like has a bigger reach and stuff, but we still box.
I've sprained both my wrists so many times boxing.
I know.
I hurt myself all the time.
I made the mistake of having like the ring that's on my chain right now. I had it on my my hand, and I was boxing, and I cut my finger, and there's still a scar there. I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's still a scar there.
I did that with my class ring. I had it on my hand.
Class ring.
Oh yeah. Yep. It was painful. What's your favorite thing to do outside?
Outside. I honestly just like to sit outside. Just sit outside, read, have a nice pure leaf lemon tea, and just sit there. It's so peaceful just to be outside by yourself, just surrounded by, like nature and stuff like that. It's just so peaceful and calming. Like, obviously, don't have your phone on you because that ruins it. But, like, I'm a big advocate of, like, limiting your phone time and stuff like that because I was addicted to it and had, like, 8 hours, like, screen time and stuff. And I know people who have, like, an absurd amount more than that. But, it's like I realized what social media like does to our generation and stuff like that. Like I'm doing an active project on the negative mental health effects of social media and things like that. And so I've been trying to get more away from my phone. And so just being outside when like fresh air and stuff like that and just not being glued to a screen and like being sucked into consumerism, it's just so much better, as well as just like having a catch with my dad or something like that.
Yeah, having fun.
Having fun. How about you?
There's a lot of things I like doing outside. I love to rollerblade.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of interesting experiences rollerblading. I'll get to those later in the video. I love to like ride my bike. Like okay, bikes I'm all right with those. Those are fun and stuff. But what I absolutely love doing is going for runs. I love running.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. Climbing, love doing that. In the spring, I go cliff diving with a whole bunch of friends. That's a lot of fun.
Sounds fun.
So,
That's good.
rollerblading, I've had some very interesting experiences. I've gotten into a lot of rollerblading accidents before. That's a whole... I can make a whole video just off that. I could do a whole episode just on...
We're going to do it later in the episode. I'm going to talk about that later in the episode.
All right,
2 seconds later.
We'll bring those up later. Unless you want to bring them up now.
We can bring it up now.
All right, we'll bring them up now.
Or else there's going to be a cut.
So, there was this one time I was playing Manhunt, and some of my friends they went out of boundaries. They like went out of the boundaries we set for the game, so I didn't have to run a quarter mile, half mile, a mile to find them.
Yeah.
And there was one time they went about I would say, a little over half a mile away. So I put my rollerblades on. I'm wearing black. I am ready. I'm playing Manhunt, so I'm obviously dressed for Manhunt.
Yeah.
I got my rollerblades on. I start going. I go to find them, and I found them, but then they thought we were still playing, even though the game ended. And they started running, and I was on rollerblades, so I chased after them. It was like 9:30 at night, something like that. I don't even remember.
Yeah.
It was really late at night. I go into the middle of the road and I hit one of those potholes in the middle of the road, and I flipped and I landed in the middle of the road. I sprained my ankle, hurt a lot. And what I had to do is I had to like crawl over to a yard because I saw a car coming.
Yeah.
And I kind of played the trick on my friends. I was like, I tried to like bring them over to me to help me or whatever, but then I tagged them all out because they thought we were still playing. So I tagged them all out, and then I went home. But,
That's nice. That's amazing.
I wasn't moving for very much. So
what were your injuries?
Injuries, rollerblading. I have so many scars. My legs are scarred. I have scars on my arms. Actually, I have some, like, I have a scar on my chest from rollerblading because one time my shirt came up when I was going and I slid. So yeah, that hurt.
I have like a scar right here from like four-wheeling. It's fun.
See, four-wheeling is fun. That's different.
Well, like it wasn't like an actual four-wheeler. Like, you know those like mini electric like Razor dirt bikes?
Oh yeah.
Just picture that, but a four-wheeler.
Oh, that sounds like fun. Still.
It's fun, yeah. But when you're like going fast and then like hit a speed bump and then like you try to overcorrect and then you start flipping on like asphalt and hit a mailbox because of it.
That doesn't sound like fun.
And then you're bleeding like everywhere because you're in shorts with asphalt. Yeah. And so your parents throw you in your saltwater hot tub to clean you out.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That sounds terrible. Peroxide and salt water sounds awful. Like on that.
It really hurt.
Oh yeah.
It really hurt. Mm-hmm. And I still have scars from it. It's fun.
Yep. Speaking of Razor dirt bikes, my friend has one. Or not my friend, like one of my neighbors. I mean, he's a friend too.
Yeah.
But one of my neighbor has one, and we've done some interesting things with that. So, you know those little wagons you put like toddlers in? I'll put a picture up behind us.
Yeah.
Those little wagons? We took a carabiner and a cable and we hooked it up to his dirt bike. And we took that thing around our neighborhood. That thing was a blast. That thing was so much fun. Until we're going down a hill and a mail truck comes out in front of us and he slammed on his brakes. And the wagon doesn't have brakes, obviously. So I flipped around him. I fell and I ripped my legs up really bad. Yeah. And then I got back in the wagon and had him drive me home. That was a lot of fun. I did the same thing with rollerblades too.
Sounds fun. Sounds fun.
Very interesting times with the dirt bike. So now I'm trying to convince my dad to get me like a go-kart, or a side-by-side or something like that, and we're gonna do it with that. So.
Like I promised my brother that in the spring I would actually go four-wheeling now, like on actual four-wheelers. So that's what I'm probably gonna do.
Are you excited for it?
Yeah, but like I gotta definitely gonna wear my leather jacket instead of just a short sleeve T-shirt.
That would probably be.
That'd probably be better. My helmet. It's like, thank God I had a helmet on because my head was repeatedly hitting asphalt, and so you can like see on my like kind of dirt bike helmet, it's just the entire right side is like all worn down because of the asphalt. Pretty sick to see, but
that helmet's got some battle scars.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It has some history to it.
Yep, that's the best part about scars is they all have their own stories with them. It's really cool.
Exactly.
It's really cool to like remember, like see all the things you've done, all the sometimes idiotic things you've done. I've done a lot of dumb things. So don't do what I do.
If you're extremely socially awkward and you're like, crap, what do I say next? Oh, my scar. Oh, I could finally talk about something else. When I was in preschool with Sam Beyer. I was with Sam Beyer, my first co-host, and what happened is I was a very temperamental toddler, and I don't know what he was doing to me, but it made me aggravated. And so Sam is the first person I have ever punched in my life. And then I immediately got in trouble for it, and I immediately broke down because I'm like, I'm going to get in trouble. But yeah.
That's awesome. I love it. I love that. I never condone violence, but that's funny. Stand behind the camera. Do you vouch for that? Do you agree with that? Like,
I feel honored.
You feel honored?
You feel honored to be punched by Matt Bove.
Yeah, it's such a glorious thing to feel Matt's face on your face.
Yeah.
It's great. No, I love it. I mean, not really the punching part, but Sam agrees with it, so we're all good.
Yeah.
Some very interesting times in school.
A lot of stories in school.
And lots of fun stories. And the four of us, we're not really normal students. I feel like the normal student just comes to school, learns, gets homework done, and goes.
Yeah.
We do a lot of other stuff outside of that.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain some of that, or?
Well, like, I don't know for, like, other people personally, but I want to make an effort to, like, be liked by my teachers. So that way, like, not that school is necessarily easier, but, like, I have somebody to come and talk to and just, like, be there and help me through, like, what my work is. As well as just, I don't know, on the outside I'm doing this.
Yep.
Yeah. What else?
This definitely gives you, like, this podcast overall, it's different from normal students. So I feel like most students our age aren't really running podcasts.
Yeah, it's like this is my second podcast, as well as the fact where I get a pass.
Oh yeah, that too. But yeah, no, we all do a podcast. Me, Sam, Matt, and Sam.
The 4 teenagers running a school's podcast.
Yeah, the 4 teenagers running the podcast. It's great. I said this in the last video. I work for the tech department. I build computers for them. I do all that stuff. I've built so many computers there. I've built multiple desktops. Not there, but just like for fun. Why not?
Mm.
So I'm a tech guy. That's really nice. Actually, there's a lot of people that ask me questions, and Sanchez behind the camera is like, give me some credit. So yeah, Sam works for me.
For him.
In tech. So
Man is 15 years old and already has an employee.
he already has an employee. Yeah. Well, I have an employee. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And then I have one more. Her name's Cadence. She's really nice. She's really good at her job, especially for a middle schooler. She knows she knows how to build computers. I had to show her 2 things. I had to teach her how to like replace a screen and a battery, and she was able to figure out everything else. And I was really impressed.
Yeah.
So, no, it's amazing.
Yeah,
So-
you definitely are my tech person. Like if I have a tech question, you're the one I go to.
It's really fun.
Yeah.
Sanchez is looking at me really weird behind the camera. It's creepy. All right. Anyway, what else do you think about like school in general? We went over this in the last video with me and Sam, but
Yeah.
you can get your opinion on it.
School in general, it definitely feels like I don't really know, because I have a bunch of different perspectives on school. Like one side I see like how the teachers are definitely putting effort in, and then on another side I'm like, well, I learn visually, and so sometimes just sitting through a class and just somebody's teaching where like somebody's teaching just standing there like a college professor and teaching that way, I don't really grasp that. I need like visuals. That's why I like oversimplified for history class.
Oh, I love
like that's the guy
Oversimplified.
who actually, I'm not gonna lie, he's the only reason I passed 8th grade history is because of him with the visuals and stuff.
It's so awesome too.
Yeah, it's great.
It's so funny.
It's funny.
It's so great.
It like, I love people who actually like make an effort to like, who love what they're doing and want to help people progress in like being good at like the subject that they're teaching. And so it's like, and sometimes you don't even have to be interested at the beginning. Like you could go into a class and be like, I hate this class. But because of how the teacher teaches, then you end up loving that subject. Like before 9th grade, I'm not gonna lie, before 9th grade, I despised English. I hated English. I was doing terrible in English. I really just couldn't get into stories and like perspectives on that and things like that. I'm just like, this is so boring. But Mr. Moffat, he's like such a great guy, and the way he teached, the way he was just there for his students, and like how kind he is and how like passionate he is about reading, that's what got me into like loving stories. And now I actively research like how movies work and fail and things like that, and just go into narratives. And it doesn't have to be something you necessarily like, but if you're motivated by your teacher, by like how they actually like their class, then it's so much easier.
For me, that person was Mr. Daly back in 8th grade for English. Before that,
Yeah.
I liked English, but I like wasn't good at it. It like wasn't my favorite subject. I get to Mr. Daly's class, and the day one, he earned my respect for the way he taught.
100%,
His
yeah.
personality, oh my goodness. Like, that was amazing.
Mhm.
So, Mr. Daly, if you're watching, you're amazing. And you definitely set me on the course for loving English.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then 9th grade, Mr. Moffat reinforced his
Oh, yeah.
everything. He reinforced it completely, and it was so incredible.
And to show like the stark difference of what happened is I was like getting like 80s and stuff. Like I know it's like not bad, but for me, like where I hold myself to like trying to be like a 90 student, for me that was like sometimes 70s and things like that. Now I'm in honors English with high 90s.
No, that's
And-
impressive.
Yeah, so like one teacher can definitely make that impact on a student. It's like you may not see the result like immediately, but you reap what you sow. If you sow into these kids like a love for learning and a love for the subject, and you're passionate about it, then the end benefit of that can be so much greater than what you see now. Like it may take 2 years for that like seed that you planted to grow, but sometimes it's like extremely effective.
Yeah.
But like, what do you think about kind of the schooling system of the one size fits all?
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
It does not work at all. Every student learns their own way. And again, that depends what you're doing.
Yeah.
If we're doing geometry, for example, I brought this up in the last episode that I was in. Geometry, it's all visuals most of the time.
Yeah.
You got these diagrams, you figure out missing angles, you figure out side lengths, you prove things, you do trigonometry. There's so many things you do in geometry. And it's a very visual type of thing. But then when you go into global history,
I love history.
I'm actually getting a lot more into history. It's still not my favorite class. No offense to any global teachers. It's just it's very difficult to remember dates and times, and there's just so much going on. Which, don't get me wrong, math has a lot of rules. And things like that. But
it's like really quickly, like for me, history, it's not of like a thing of okay, I gotta focus and see the dates. I don't really care about the dates, but sometimes usually what happens is I quickly see a date, and then it's in my memory forever.
Yeah.
It's like I just love history with a passion, and I like research it outside of school, so it's easy for me. Even though I'm in honors history, history is easy for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I understand you.
Yeah, no, history has not really ever been my thing. Like
Yeah.
like even through like all of middle school, history wasn't my thing. It's like I can't get into all that ancient Aztec
I can't.
Mayan
Yeah, I can't
stuff.
get into that.
I can't get into that stuff. But bring me into like
Conflicts and wars.
conflicts, wars, World War I, II, Vietnam. Like that is where I focus and I can excel pretty fast at those.
Exactly.
I would say the thing I excel the most in is music. Music is something in band.
I love music.
I'm just I've been playing piano for 11 years. It'll be 11 years on Tuesday. Will be the
Wow.
11-year mark of me playing piano. It's been a very long time, and I have an incredibly powerful ear for music. I'm just really good at it. I can do a lot of stuff when it comes to music, and I'm very grateful that I have these abilities that allow me to go through music really well. And I don't know, it really depends, because music's all listening. It's all like ear. It's an ear subject.
It's all like what gives you the most dopamine, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what music is, kind of. But then you have math, where it's like, okay, what is the formula for a trapezoid? I know what it is. But
Of course you do. It's like, I don't know about you, but I'm more of like a logical learner, instead of like you telling me what like it is and I'm like accept that immediately.
Yep.
So I struggle in math because I'm like, I know you told me this is how it goes, but why is this the way that it goes? And how did the first person who created that know that this is the truth
that's
and how
something
it way it goes?
I've always understood that. I'm like, how did somebody come up with this? I'm learning stuff in geometry, and I'm like, how did someone just like think? They're just like, they had a dream one night, and they're like, hang on, I wonder if you do this, does that work? And I'm like, how does somebody just come up with this one day?
I know, right?
Really smart Greek people.
Really smart Greek people.
This is what Sam Beyer just said.
Well,
And same thing with science. It's like in
Yeah.
earth science. How does somebody, like, earth science is the science we're taking this year. And I'm like, how does somebody just come up with this? They're just like looking at a rock and be like, this rock is 750 million years old. I'm like, how does that work? How does somebody just come up with that one day?
yeah, it's really insane and also extremely confusing.
Really confusing if you don't know what you're doing. I have math brain. I've been surrounded by math my whole life. It's a lot of fun. Always been really great at it. If I get below a 90 in math, I get pretty mad.
Yeah.
So
Nick, do you ever have you ever just like felt the desire to learn something so just abstract just on your free time?
oh yeah, all the time. I went over the last episode. I memorized 160 digits of pi for Pi Day. It's just something I did on the free time, and I wanted to hit 200, but it wasn't gonna happen. But
I'm sorry I flinched just like really quickly. A person behind the screen got mad and like was a fake throwing something, and I thought he actually threw something. So
no, it's all good. No, but it's like that's something completely random. I'm never gonna use that in life.
Yeah.
It's just to say that I know it. I've done a whole bunch of other things too. I've memorized I have a great memory.
Yeah.
I was able to memorize a whole bunch of stuff. But there are some things that I'm like, is this worth memorizing or not? Like most random of facts. Well, our other anchorman, Sam Beyer, he has the best fun facts ever.
yeah,
And they're really great. And I'm like, how does he remember these?
Yeah, you want to hear a stupid fun fact that I know that has no relevance whatsoever?
Let's go.
So the words Arctica and like the Arctic and Antarctica were determined because that is the name for bears and no bears. So they were studying the place and for them to like differentiate, whatever that word is.
Differentiate.
Yeah. For them to like decide which is which, they're like, okay, this one has bears and this one doesn't have bears, and they just called it that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is a fun fact. I did not know that.
But it's like it's like you see something and then all of a sudden you're like, I kind of just really want to learn that. It's like one day I got bored and wanted to learn quantum physics. Like I didn't
Been there
obviously,
before.
but I've like went like for a straight 2 hours on just like hyper focusing on quantum physics.
You'd be researching quantum physics. I've done that before too, Mr. Beyer. If you're watching this, we're prepared for senior year. We're prepared for it.
Yeah.
No, it's like we see something online and then we want to like research that one topic, and it's like schoolwork doesn't matter anymore. It's just like we just care about that one thing.
Yeah. It's like,
and it doesn't matter how dumb it is. It can be like, what is the price of this video game? And should I buy it? Yes or no? You're gonna watch 1,000 gameplays on it.
exactly.
Like, it's the most random of things that you're just gonna want to memorize now. So or research.
I have a great memory when it's practical. So I can't really remember, like, it's like school is kind of difficult for me, like trying to get that into my memory, like vocab words and stuff like that. But I remember, like, if you were to tell me something that you would do, I will remember that. My grandfather, on my 10th birthday, at around like 2 o'clock, I called, like, he called me and he was singing happy birthday to me and stuff. And he's like, oh, you're gonna drive soon. Like, you know, just like that joking banter and stuff like
Yep.
that. And I go, like, I'm like, yeah, for my first car, could you buy me a Lamborghini? And he said yes. So
Oh.
I'm still holding on to that
You're
one.
holding on to that one. All right.
Will it happen? No. But I still remember that.
I'll buy you a Lamborghini someday.
Someday.
Matt'll get his dream car.
Someday I will pull up to Mechanicville with a Lamborghini.
Oh yeah.
You can quote me on that.
No, it's when
The tractor.
when it comes to random things, they have incredible memories. I do not. When it comes to completely random things, again, unless I'm like being challenged to do something.
Yeah.
If somebody challenges me to something, I'm gonna put all my effort into completing that challenge. And do it successfully.
Exactly.
But if somebody asks me to remember what they said on April 10th, 2007, I'm not going to remember that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to remember exactly what anybody said on that day. But
Fair.
And then in school, same thing. I can memorize, like, dates in global. I'm sorry, not very well. But rules and math, I can do pretty well. There are a whole bunch of things in science I can memorize. It's just, teachers hit you with so much.
Yeah.
And it's a lot.
And it's
But that's the thing. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, it's fine.
But that's the thing. They hit you with so much, but then they spend time and they go through it all.
Yeah.
And then they test you on it, and hopefully you do well. If you're paying attention, you'll do fine. So.
But it's like, back to that is my mind works a certain way, and I love history and stuff like that, and yet you can't really get into that. And kind of going back, it kind of shows how the one-size-fits-all method is not the most efficient way, let's say, of how to do schooling. Because our classrooms and our schooling system hasn't really changed since, like, the Industrial Revolution and things like that, where you're training people to be good with technology and to be good at working and be good at, like, being in this setting. And now it's kind of just never adapted. And, like, does it work? Yeah. But, like, 98% of the stuff I learn, I know I'm never going to use. And so it's kind of hard to learn that stuff, knowing all I have to do is regurgitate it, get hopefully an 85 or higher, and then move on with my life.
Yeah. I feel like most of the stuff in high school we're never going to use.
Yeah.
But somebody commented on our last video, put a comment up behind us. It said that it exposes you to a whole array of things. And I was like, I looked at that comment, I read that,
Same.
and I was like, that's a great way to look at high school. I'm like, it exposes you to so much stuff, and it allows you to figure out what you actually want to do. So shout out to whoever, I can't remember what their name was at this moment, but you'll be up behind us.
Yeah. It's like, also the first episode, it's like all those comments and stuff, we got to go through those.
All those comments, we're going to be doing a comment review sometime soon.
Yeah.
Well, we'll go through your guys' comments, don't worry.
Should we have, like, all 4 people up here? Or
I would say let's have all 4
like
people up here.
all 4 people. Yeah, I mean,
the whole cast will be up here.
we have 4 mics.
Yeah, we got 4 mics. We're good. We'll get all 4 of us up here, and we'll go through you guys' comments.
Unless it's like higher than PG-13, then no.
No, we won't go through.
No,
this,
no.
Sorry. Actually, I've actually set our channel to filter out comments that aren't appropriate.
Oh, really?
I've set it to that specifically.
Okay.
And only I'll get the notification for those, and only I'll be able to.
Have you ever gotten a notification yet?
Oh, I haven't.
Okay.
As far as I don't actually look for them. I don't really go.
It's gonna blow up after this.
I don't really look. Yeah. Don't post any PG-13 R comments.
Higher.
Don't do that. Not recommended. Nobody will see them. They'll get reported to YouTube.
Waste of
Not
time.
recommended. Anyway, that's all the questions I have for you. If you have anything else you want to touch on before we go,
I honestly don't. And
no, all right.
Yeah, I just want to say water is good and
Water's great.
Water's great.
Actually, hang on. Speaking of water, we did get a comment in the first episode. It was, "What's your take on Dasani water?"
Dasani water is disgusting, and I hope it gets thrown away and ostracized from society as a whole. They put salt in the water to make you want to drink something more. And because Coca-Cola sells it, it's a great marketing tactic, because once you're thirsty and you realize, hey, I can't really drink this water I spent like $3 on. Now I'm going to go get a nice, refreshing, cold Coca-Cola to fill my thirst up again, or like whatever. And it's such a stupid marketing tactic. And sometimes you go into a store and that's the only water they sell. And I hate it with a passion.
You're like, I'm just gonna go find a puddle outside.
I would rather drink rainwater than I would Dasani.
Oh wow. Okay.
I have gone to the ocean multiple times, and I have gotten a mouthful of salt water multiple times, and that was still more enjoyable than Dasani.
I literally I was in Florida less than 2 months ago, and I got hit by waves hard.
Yeah.
It was so much fun, but oh my gosh, salt water is so gross. I can't. It was like muddy salt water. It was gross,
Mhm.
and it just rained the night before, so you know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't really drink like Dasani ever. I don't even drink bottled water really. I just get it from my fridge.
Fiji's the best. We will eventually have a water talk.
We'll talk about water.
We'll talk about water
That'll be Matt
only.
and Sam. I'll be behind the camera for that one.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
That'll be a fun episode. I'm excited for it. Hope you guys are too.
All right. Anything else?
No, not really. All I have to say is we'll see you guys next time. Be sure to come back. We'll be here.
I wonder if anybody's cultured enough to get the quote of, "And if we don't see you again, good afternoon, good evening, and good night."